Alright, so we're back with another update video. Today we're going to be doing the timing belt on this thing. We got pretty much most of the parts we need. New timing belt and all the pulleys and everything. Now I'm actually going to be able to be reusing my water pump, which is highly not recommended. Whenever you're doing a timing belt, you always want to replace the water pump, but I am not going to be using this engine for very long, so I'm just going to save the money and put it into my new engine. And I'm just kind of doing this as a precautionary thing anyway, because this motor's way overdue for its timing belt, but there's nothing actually wrong with it right now. It ran totally fine. There's no issues with the water pump, so I don't really see a harm in reusing it for now. You know, maybe another 5,000 to 10,000 miles or so, or however long it takes me to finish the new motor. So alright, so these are all the parts I got. I bought a $145 timing belt kit off Amazon. It came with Mitsubishi timing belt, all GMB pulleys and a tensioner. I ordered all these through my brother's work because he works at Subaru. We have valve cover gaskets. Obviously going to reseal the water pump. I got a new drain plug, oil drain plug gasket. Those are super cheap. This is the O-ring that goes behind the oil pump. So I'm going to take that off and reseal it. This one's for the oil fill tube because mine's just leaking everywhere, and might as well change it. And then these are for the valve covers, the bolts that go through. The kit I got is actually for an EJ22E or an EJ18, because for all these phase 1 EJ motors, they're pretty much the exact same timing belt. So when you change the timing belt on one of these, first thing you want to do after you get the cover off and the pulley and everything off out of the way, just like this, is to line up the timing marks. Pretty easy. There's a mark here. You line it up with the cover. I think I showed you guys that before. But next, we're just going to start taking off these pulleys in the front, and that'll release tension from the belt, and we can just pop it off. So with all that out of the way, nothing to it. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts.
Actually, I have a different address where a family member's.
Just pop it off. get it all over the exhaust. That's good. So just let that drain for a second.
Those dowel pins, remember? So just make sure it's straight.
Yeah, it's just really stuck. It's moving a little bit. Now slide that off. The O-ring fell, but there it is.
Can't even see. It's all dark.
This is the old O-ring that goes behind the oil pump. It's supposed to be round, so you can see where it's kind of getting sucked into the oil pump a little bit. It's definitely leaking.
I'm not sure where it went.
It basically seals this little hole right here.
Okay.
Alright, so then we're going to take the water pump off. There's also 10 mil bolts. Not sure how many of them there are, but let's crack them all free first. There's one in here. Oops. So the pump's off. It just pops right off. And now we're going to be using brake clean and rags and stuff and get the all the surfaces cleaned up and get all the gunk off of there before we attempt to put the new one on with a new gasket and everything. So you want to make sure you get all of this gasket material off very carefully without scratching the actual surface of your water pump or whichever side it's actually stuck onto. I've had it sometimes stick onto the block, sometimes it sticks onto the water pump. But you just want to make sure you get all this stuff off so you have a nice clean surface for your new gasket to go on. Alright, so I got the water pump pretty clean. I got most of the gasket off. This was really burnt on here. So I'm just going to leave it like that. It's smooth. But when you have the oil pump off, now's a good time to actually take a look at these screws in the back of the pump, because these can actually come loose very easily. Actually, mine was completely loose. It was actually sticking out a couple threads. So you just want to snug those up with a screwdriver and make sure those don't fall out. So it's fairly clean now. I'm going to work on popping this seal out now so we can change it. Just scraping all the gasket residue off of the oil pump, water pump and oil pump. So you want to spray a little bit of brake clean on a rag and wipe this down after you make sure all the RTV's off there. You don't want to actually spray it with brake cleans. You can get it on stuff you don't really want to. So it's good to just spray it on or in the actual oil system. So just spray it on a rag and wipe it down. Make sure there's no oil residue, because if there's any oil residue, your RTV will not stick. So you just want to get all these kind of snugged up one by one, because you're gonna have to kind of move the water pump around a little bit to get them all to thread in. Just get all the bolts lined up. You don't want to cross thread these, that would be really bad. So take your time. Alright, so we're gonna put the seal in the oil pump. You just kind of try to get in here as even as you can, and use like the old gasket or the old seal as something just to kind of help you tap it in. Just want to make sure it goes in evenly. There you go. That's basically what you're looking for. Just get a nice amount all the way around it. Make sure you get all the way through on all the sides where it's supposed to be. And we need to pop this O-ring we got from Subaru in this little hole right here. It should stay on its own. And I usually put like 1 or 2 bolts in it just to kind of hold it in place, but it has dowel pins, so it usually goes on pretty easily. You don't normally have to, so. Alright, so the hardest part about this is getting the actual gear on the crankshaft lined up with the pump. Since we've had it off, you know, it gets moved around a lot, so just gotta make sure you have it in the right angle, and it shouldn't be too bad. But the other thing you need to make sure you don't forget is to put some engine oil on this seal in here, and some on the crankshaft where it rides, because otherwise when you slide this on, it's just gonna turn the seal inside out and ruin it. So also the easiest way to actually get it on is to kind of lift it up and like get the top on first, and kind of like put it on diagonally, and then pop it onto the dowel pins. Alright, I usually just like to snug up all the bolts, just to give the RTV a chance to have a space to dry in, to actually make a gasket and form a good seal. Alright, we're going to pack it up, leave it here for tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow and finish putting the timing belt on, all the pulleys, and get it all buttoned up. Thanks for watching.